Yo, back at you with another one. So like and share this episode. So now we gotta talk about Karmelo Anthony and this circus. That's what it really is. It's a circus. You know, they trying to railroad this kid, basically. You know, they're overcharging him with him defending himself, basically. Now, once I look back, once I did some research on this debacle, this is a good kid. This kid is top in his class. You know, I'll be proud to have a kid like him. You know, unfortunately, no one is above getting jammed up out here in this society. It doesn't matter how great of a kid you may be or great of a man you may be, you can still get jammed up. You can still get, you know, somebody can still try to jump you. You know, that's what happened to this kid. He got jumped. And he handled it the best of his ability at that time. You know what I'm saying? It shit happens. You know what I'm saying? I've been jumped before. I mean, it didn't work out good for them because they got hands and feet put on them. You know, within probably 2-3 seconds after trying to jump me. But it happens. And when it happens, you got to do what you got to do. And there's no, look, if it's one-on-one, okay, that's one thing. If it's 2-on-1, hey man, there's no fair fight. There's no rules, man. If you're trying to jump me, I gotta do what I gotta do to make it back home. And it's okay to have a knife. He wasn't on school property. You know, a lot of people forgot when they were kids. When I was a kid, yeah, I had a knife in my pocket. Plenty of kids did. This is not new. You know, and there's a lot of people online that are trying to justify why this kid should go to jail because he's defending himself. A lot of these people are agents or working with some type of law enforcement agency or working with some type of firm. They're being paid to say what they're saying. That's what that's really all about. You can't justify why this kid should go to jail. Now, here's where the double standard comes in at. Now, there's this unwritten rule in society, the American society, where a black person is never supposed to defend themselves against a white person. That's an unwritten rule. And I learned this when I was in high school a long time ago, many moons ago. Because this type of stuff happens, you know, and 9 times out of 10, the reason why these guys approach Karmelo like that, because of the white girls. The white girls were probably choosing. And I don't know if you went to a white school and if you're on top of your game, you're like, this kid is top of his game. He's top of his class. If you're on top of your game, number one, you're already black. You're on the top of your game. You stick out. You that dude. And the little white girls are going to be choosing. And them little white boys don't like that. And I've had experience with this before because I went to summer school and a predominantly white school, right? Because I got sick and I had to go to summer school or whatever. And them little white girls were choosing, and them white boys don't like that. So That's where the problem comes in at. Them white boys probably didn't like that. That's why they approach him and say, "Hey, you're in the wrong seat." You know, that's where it stems from. It stems from the white girls choosing Karmelo. Nobody's talking about that in the news. They just said, "Oh, he just stabbed the dude to death," you know. But you have a lot of guys that are bullies. That's what it is. And see, another thing you have to keep in mind. I don't know if you ever been in a fight or not. See, a lot of people haven't been in a fight before, so it's easy for them to sit up there and be very judgmental. Which is, I don't know how you go about life and never been in a fight before. You got guys that ain't never threw a punch. How do you manage to do that? That's incredible to me. But that's a story for another day. But you got guys that you got people that will say, "Oh, if well, he didn't have to stab him. Look, he didn't have to put his damn hands on me either." Look, my parents used to tell me, if you hit somebody, you should expect to get hit back. And you can't dictate how the other person is going to hit you back or what they're going to hit you with. So it's best for you to keep your damn hands to yourself. That's what my parents used to tell me. Obviously, some people's parents tell them something different or don't tell them anything at all. You know what I'm saying? But that's what my parents used to tell me. But if you're trying to jump me or gang up on me, I got to do what I got to do. Now, you can defend yourself. There's no law that says you can't defend yourself, right? But the problem is, a lot of these people don't honor these laws because of the double standards. See, like, if I have to defend myself, I already know the shit gonna go left, even if I was in the right. The white and all the white people are going to lie. That's just what it is. I just expect that to happen. It doesn't matter if it happens. If I get in something tomorrow or next week or next month or however, and if a white person is involved and I have to defend myself, I expect all the white people to lie and to be against me. And when it comes to the black people, I expect most of them not to believe me. Because that's the sheep mentality. That's just what it is, right? I expect that if I get caught, there's a good chance I'm going to have to prove that I'm innocent. They're going to assume that I'm guilty. That's just what it is. And I've seen this play out hundreds of times since I've been living. This is pretty standard. I've never gotten the benefit of the doubt since I've been living in anything that I can think of. If it's the white person's word against mine, most people are going to take the white person's word. That's just what it is, because of the double standards, and people want to believe what they want to believe. If you look at the news and all these websites online, the white people are doing all the talking. The black people from Karmelo's family, they're not saying anything, which is a good thing, by the way. You should keep your damn mouth closed and let the attorneys do the talking. That's what you should do. Now, I read over the police report from Karmelo Anthony. He said something that he shouldn't have said. He should have kept his mouth shut. But he's a young kid. He probably doesn't know that whatever you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. He told the cops that he did it. He said, did what? Oh, I stabbed him. But that's context. That can be taken in any type of way. So they use that to take him to jail. You know what I'm saying? Because if you say, "Hey, I did what? You did what? I stabbed him." You know that, and then he went on to say, "Oh, it's out of self-defense, though." So they use that against him to say, "Hey, okay, that's why we took him to jail or whatever." But in a situation like that, you keep your damn mouth shut. Don't say nothing. That's what it is. Keep your damn mouth closed. There's plenty of people in jail today because they simply didn't keep their goddamn mouth closed. They didn't do anything wrong, but they just ran their damn mouth. Either they didn't know any better or they got scared. But he's a young kid. Hopefully, he'll learn from this and move on. But, this is what it is. This type of stuff happens. It's common, where it's like the black person is the victim against the white person, and all the white people are just lying. This is kind of common, especially in these small little towns, and they're making it seem like Karmelo's a killer, a 17-year-old killer, and they make it seem like these two guys are such outstanding football players, this and that. And there's people who have came out, at least two or three people that I've heard came out and said, Karmelo wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting out minding his own business. And these two white boys went over there and started bothering him. It's people that came out already and said what it was. But see, in a situation like that, you should expect all the white people to be lying. You should expect them to lie, and they're doing all the talking on the media, and the media is cold-blooded. The media is making it seem like these are this is a great family, and their family, these twin white boys, their mom and dad not even together. They're not even together. They're making it seem like they're a great family, with a good mother and father that's married. They're not even married. They're not together. But meanwhile, Karmelo's family, they're together. They got 4 kids. 4 kids under the same roof with his mother and father. This guy's on the top of his game in school. I would be proud to have a son like him. I would be bragging. How my son is the top in his class doing his thing. And yeah, the little young white girl's gonna be choosing. And that's what the white boys don't like. That's where a lot of this stems from. And the media is not gonna tell you that. The media is gonna make it seem, well, and here's another thing. A lot of people say, why you gotta make it a black and white thing? Oh, that might not start off like that, like a black and white thing. But it's going to end up being about that because the media is going to spin it and make it seem like, oh, the white boy was victimized by the big black man. And they're calling Anthony like a man. He's not a man. He's a kid. He's a 17-year-old kid that just found himself in a situation where he shouldn't have been in the first place. How the hell can you be a victim of a crime and now they spin it and turn around and now you the killer? And this happens. This is not uncommon. When I was growing up, man, look, I've heard plenty of stories where guys used to whip them white boys' ass and break up out of there, get up out of there. It used to happen. I heard plenty of stories like this when I was growing up. They used to whip them white boys' ass and get up out of there. And you know why? Because they knew if they stuck around at the club or restaurant, wherever they was at, stuck around and called the police and all that shit. When the police come there, the police is going to take the white guy's story over them because of the double standards in the society. That's what it is. You know, look, if you ever been in a car accident, this is a good example. Because if you ever been in a car accident and with a white person, as soon as the cop gets there, they're gonna take the white person's story over yours. They're automatically biased. They'll take your story last. Or even if it's two cops on the scene, one cop will be like, okay, they'll put more of an emphasis on what the white person is saying over me. And almost every black person have had that experience with cops. If you have some type of accident or something like that. This is just what it is in American society. You can't get away from the racism. You can't get away from it, man. Even if you tried, you can't. That's what it is. So you got to outsmart these fools. You got to know the game. You got to know the game before it happens. So I made up my mind a long time ago. If somebody attacks me, if a white person attacks me or anybody attacks me, I'm going to defend myself. I'm not going to let anybody hurt me without putting up a fight. And if it's a white person or some other person that's non-black, there's a good chance the shit is going to go left and I'm going to be made look like I'm a victim. I already know what it is. I've lived it. I've seen it so many times. If I have to get an attorney, so be it. I'll be okay. I'll live to see another day. I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. That's just what it is. That's the landscape of where we are in this society. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to defend myself. I'm not going to stand there and get my ass kicked without putting up a fight. Especially if you ganging up on me. I mean, come on, man. If you ganging up on me, man, there's no rules, man. I gotta do what I gotta do. And see, a lot of people will say, oh, you're too emotional. This ain't got nothing to do with no emotion. This is about standing up for myself. This is about taking care of myself. This is about, I got to do what I got to do to make it home. I don't care if you're man enough to try to jump me or hurt me. You don't give a fuck about me. So why should I care about you? This ain't got nothing to do with no emotion. This is about making it, at the end of the day, it's about, okay, I got to do what I got to do to defend myself and make it back home. There's people depending on me. You know? So you got all these guys online, man, they're punks. They're chumps. They're professional ass kisses. They'll say anything to campaign for a job or kissing white ass, trying to get brownie points and all that shit. That's not real life. And a lot of these guys, they probably done got their ass kicked a couple of times. You know. That's not real life out here. Real life is out here. People, guys do little shit. Young boys do little shit. There's bullies out here. And when it happens to you, what you gonna do? You gonna be a coward? You gonna let somebody whip your ass? Look, if Karmelo would have gotten beat up, you probably wouldn't have heard nothing about this. But see, here's the thing. If you get beat up or hurt or killed, nobody cares. Nobody's gonna care. That's just a reality. So I'm like, well, shit, they don't even care even before I got attacked, they don't care. Well, you know they ain't gonna care afterwards, after you got your ass kicked, after you end up in the hospital. I mean, your parents will show up to see you, or your sisters and brothers. That's about it. But the people on the news or people in the media, they don't give a shit. They just trying to get some ratings, trying to get some spins, you know. So if that's the case, I gotta do what I gotta do for me. I could care less about what somebody's saying on the internet or what somebody's saying in the news. I could care less what a cop thinks, what a DA thinks. All I know is I got to do what I got to do to defend myself. And if I have to get an attorney, so be it. You know, so be it. If I have to, doesn't matter how much money it is, so be it. I got to do what I got to do because nobody cares about me at the end of the day when I leave the house out in these streets. That's just reality. We have no friends out here. It is what it is. You know, people will always try to justify why you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. And then if you ask them, well, what do you think I should have done? They're like, well, I don't know, but you shouldn't have done it like that. Come on, man. Get out of here. But it is what it is, man. There's no law that says you can't defend yourself. But are they going to honor that law when it comes to you? Probably not. That's just what it is. You're going to have to. You're guilty until proven innocent in America. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So like, share this episode. Tell me what you think. Until next time, I'm out. Peace. Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the stallion that I like. Here from